What's up? It's Robert Reagan. I'm about to read another short story. This short story is going to be pretty graphic. A lot of bad language and stuff, and so if you're not into that, not the thing for you. The story is actually about a crack whore that I had a major crush on a couple years ago. Anyway, she's gone now, over with. But the thing that bothers me the most about that whole thing, well, about this whole story actually, the fact that they picked, well, I had this writing group that I love being a part of, and they picked this story in particular to trash when I posted it on MySpace. Yeah, they talked about how it was totally incorrect and blah 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 blah. Most of the people that was checking my stuff out, they didn't give a fuck about all that. They just liked the story for what it was and what it said. Because I'm not any kind of writing scholar or anything. I'm just a stoner that likes to put pen to paper. Anyway, that whole thing, it really fucked with me about sick writers down turning on me with a story. And as far as that goes, I'm still the sickest. All them cats, man, they're all obsessed with the Beat Generation, William Burroughs and Jack Kerouac and such, and I'm as beat as it gets these days, fellas. Anyway, with that off my chest, it's time to read this short story. It's called Megan the Crack Maiden. Oh, just a sec. Anyway, here it goes. Megan the Crack Maiden. You're extremely lonely. Seems like you. You're extremely lonely. Seems like you haven't had pussy since pussy had you. You stare out the window of your trailer, and there she is, Megan, the neighborhood crack whore. All you see is her backside, her navy blue halter top showing off her tan shoulders. Her ass looks so good in those skin-tight jeans she's pulling up higher. She's in such a rush you don't have time to masturbate to her before she's out of sight. Megan has just performed oral sex on someone again for $20. She has a rock and you won't see her anymore for a while. You saw her for the first time 2 nights ago. She was laid all the way back in the passenger seat of a Mercedes owned by a drug dealer. A step up from the old rust bucket she's usually spotted in. You made eye contact with her and she smiled. Now you're planning on not paying the light bill this week. It will take almost your whole check to spend one whole night with her. She won't mind if it's dark as long as you have the candles lit so she can see the loader stem. In your mind, you can see her riding you, both of you naked and sweating. You're moaning out loud as she starts to go down on you, tasting her own semen. Then you come back to your senses and realize you're playing with yourself. Weeks pass and she's out of sight, but not out of your head. You paid the light bill. It takes electricity to run your diseased computer. You lusted after millions of women and gave it a virus. You need something real so bad you can taste it on your tongue. You imagine going down on Megan looking like a rabid animal wildly on her clit, looking her all over in the same place where hundreds of dicks have been. That thought interrupts you from, well, you know. Finally, after months of constant obsessing, you see her again at a party. Her blonde hair hanging down in her face. She's beautiful, the type of girl who you would usually see covered in jewelry. She's had many diamond engagement rings in her past. Remnants of the men she actually loved. They were sold with her necklaces and bracelets on those times when her body wasn't enough to get her a blast. This night she could get anything she wanted, standing over the vent in a short white dress, feeling the cool air between her sexy legs. In your mind, Megan's like Marilyn Monroe, Marilyn on crack. a wannabe starlet that can only get a part in a snuff film. She would probably do that if she was geeking bad enough. Despite the smile she wears, she's secretly suicidal. Kurt Cobain is her idol, even though that night she was dancing to hip hop. You watched her, she had you hypnotized. After the song ends, you make your way over to her. By then, Mary J. Blige was singing. You can't dance till you step up to her. She never stops moving. She figures you don't have any money, but she's wrong. You've been saving up for this moment. You tell her to leave with you, that there's something big in it for her. She tells you she doesn't care about the size of your dick as long as the money's right. That's what you meant in the first place. It doesn't matter because you're finally about to leave with Megan, the pretty drugged out maiden of your dreams and fantasies. She gets in your car and reminds you where she gets the goods at, like you forgot. It's the next trailer down the street from yours. You pull up and see what looks like a small party. Marcus is standing there with his chick. You shut the car off and Megan gets out. You get excited as you watch her wiggle her ass. She walks over and hands Marcus the $200 you gave her for the night. Normally you wouldn't go with a girl who does things like this. Then again, you did used to hang out at Ass with Class trying to have relationships with strippers. Until this gothic stripper named Scarlett invited you to her house, where her and her boyfriend almost offered you as a sacrifice to Satan. Listening, you hear Marcus ask Megan why she doesn't just stay and let him and the boys run a train on her. She tells him you paid her for the she tells him you paid her money for the night. He tells his thugs to ask if you mind if she stays. They walk over to the car where you're starting to get nervous. You tell them it's okay. You just want your money back. They tell you they're sorry, but they can't do that. Then they tell you to leave before they have to stomp you out. You reach for the switchblade in your pocket, but decide instead to call it a loss. You back away, turning your head to look back at Megan. She's beautiful standing there being groped by Marcus and his gang. You pull in your driveway just up the street. You walk inside your trailer and go straight to your computer. You jack off and watch porn. You never do get off because you can't stop thinking about the gangbang that you just sponsored down the street. You lay down to sleep by yourself once again, thinking how nice it would be to hold Megan in your arms. You wait the next day to the sound of someone knocking on your bedroom window. You look out and it's Megan. Her makeup smeared away from her bulging eyes. She looks like she just came back from hell. She tells you to go to the door and let her in. You close your blinds and fall back into bed. You cover your head with a pillow and lay there until you fall back asleep, listening to the sound of Megan begging you to let her in. That's it. Thank you.